Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about events in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, the new attack on the Crimean Bridge. This latest bombing has shocked the world and once again raised questions about the future of the war, the security of Russian infrastructure, and Ukraine's growing ability to strike deep into Russian-held territory. The Crimean Bridge, also known as the Kerch Bridge, has always been more than just a piece of infrastructure. It's a symbol of Russia's control over Crimea. And this time, the strike that hit it is unlike anything we've seen before. The Crimean Bridge connects mainland Russia to the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed from Ukraine back in 2014. For years, this bridge has been both a practical supply line for Russian forces and a political statement from the Kremlin. It represents Russia's claim over Crimea, and for that reason, it's one of the most valuable and heavily guarded targets in this entire war. Any strike against it is not just a military act, but a direct challenge to Putin's authority and Russia's legitimacy in holding Crimea. The first time the bridge was bombed, it was a stunning event. The explosion was massive, caught on video, and sent shockwaves across the world. That attack severely damaged part of the bridge, disrupted military logistics, and embarrassed Moscow. But this new strike is different. It's not just another explosion, it's a statement of Ukraine's evolving strategy and its growing capability to hit Russian targets with precision and persistence. This new attack reportedly used advanced tactics and technology that surprised Russian defenses. The details are still emerging, but early reports suggest the strike may have involved sea drones or precision guided missiles capable of evading Russia's air defense systems. What makes it unique is not just the destruction itself, but the way it was executed: stealthy, fast, and seemingly unstoppable. Russian officials initially denied the extent of the damage, but satellite images and videos tell a different story. Sections of the bridge appear heavily damaged again, disrupting traffic and forcing Russia to reroute supplies through much longer, riskier routes. For Ukraine, hitting the Crimean Bridge is more than symbolic revenge, it's strategic. The bridge is Russia's lifeline for moving troops, ammunition, and fuel to the front lines in southern Ukraine. Every time it's attacked, it weakens Russia's logistics chain and makes it harder for them to sustain operations in regions like Kherson and Zaporizhia. It also sends a psychological message to both Russian troops and the Russian public. Nowhere is completely safe, not even a bridge that Putin himself inaugurated and called an eternal connection to Crimea. But what truly makes this strike stand out is its timing. It comes at a moment when both sides are locked in a grinding war of attrition. Ukraine's counteroffensive has faced difficulties on the ground, with slow progress and heavy losses. By striking the bridge again, Ukraine is shifting the narrative and showing that it still holds powerful cards to play. It's a reminder that even if the front lines don't move quickly, Ukraine can still deliver devastating blows deep behind enemy lines. This also exposes the vulnerability of Russian air and naval defenses in the Black Sea region. Despite Russia deploying advanced S-400 systems and constant drone surveillance, Ukraine managed to penetrate those defenses yet again. That raises serious questions about Russia's ability to protect its key infrastructure, not just in Crimea, but across its occupied territories. It suggests that Ukrainian intelligence and technology have advanced significantly since the first bridge attack in 2022. Western analysts are pointing out that this second strike demonstrates how Ukraine has integrated Western, provided technologies with its own innovations. Sea drones and long-range precision weapons, many developed with NATO's support or training, are now giving Ukraine asymmetric advantages. Russia's military, despite its size, seems increasingly reactive, constantly patching up damage rather than preventing it, and each new Ukrainian strike erodes not only material strength but morale. For Russia, the political impact of this new bombing could be enormous. The Crimean Bridge has been a personal pride project for Vladimir Putin. He opened it himself in 2018, driving a truck across it in front of cameras. It was meant to symbolize Russia's triumph and permanence in Crimea. Every explosion that rocks that bridge strikes directly at that symbolism. It undermines Putin's image of control and security, and that's something the Kremlin fears more than physical destruction. After the previous attack, Russia tightened security, increased patrols, and even deployed underwater barriers to protect the bridge. Yet somehow, Ukraine managed to get through again. That means Russia is not learning fast enough, or that Ukraine's innovation is simply outpacing Russian defenses. Either way, this attack humiliates the Russian military establishment, showing that even their most protected assets can be reached. The Kremlin's response has been predictably furious. Russian state media quickly labeled the attack as a terrorist act, blaming Western intelligence services for helping Ukraine. There are renewed calls for retaliation, including strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure and possible escalation in the Black Sea. But beneath the angry rhetoric, there's a sense of panic. Each successful attack on the bridge erodes confidence among Russian citizens who were told that Crimea was forever safe under Russian rule. In the bigger picture, this bombing also affects global geopolitics. The Crimean Bridge is a vital route for civilian traffic and trade, not just military supplies. Every time it's hit, it disrupts not only Russia's logistics, but also international shipping in the region. Insurance rates for Black Sea transport rise, trade slows down, and tensions with neighboring countries increase. The bridge is more than just a target, it's a flashpoint that reminds the world how fragile this entire region has become. From a military perspective, Ukraine's repeated ability to strike it also reveals the changing nature of modern warfare. We're seeing how small, unmanned systems, whether drones in the air or at sea, can inflict damage once only possible with full-scale bombing campaigns. This is asymmetric warfare at its peak, using precision, technology, and timing to achieve maximum impact with minimal resources. And that's exactly what Ukraine seems to be mastering. Another reason this attack is unique is how openly it's being discussed. The Ukrainian government hasn't outright taken credit, but officials have dropped enough hints to make it clear they're behind it. This semi-transparent approach keeps the psychological pressure on Russia while allowing Ukraine to maintain some plausible deniability. It's strategic communication, a blend of truth, suggestion, and information warfare. Meanwhile, the Russian military is scrambling to repair the damage. Engineers are working around the clock, but the more they rebuild, the more vulnerable the bridge becomes. It's turning into a costly cycle for Moscow: fix it, lose it, fix it again. Each reconstruction drains resources and exposes corruption within Russia's infrastructure programs, as quick fixes often lead to poor quality repairs. It's a slow, grinding humiliation that eats away at Russia's confidence. For the Ukrainian people, this strike boosts morale. After months of hard fighting and difficult news from the front, the image of the bridge burning again reignites hope. It's proof that the war isn't static, that their efforts are making a difference. For Ukrainians, every successful hit on the Crimean Bridge is like striking the heart of the occupation itself. Internationally, reactions have been mixed. Western nations have praised Ukraine's resilience but are cautious about escalation. They fear that repeated attacks on high-profile Russian assets could provoke harsher retaliation. Yet privately, many analysts believe this kind of pressure is exactly what keeps Russia off balance. By constantly forcing Moscow to react, Ukraine maintains initiative, and that's vital in a long war. Some experts are even suggesting that these strikes could mark the beginning of a broader campaign to isolate Crimea. By targeting supply routes like the bridge and military ports in Sevastopol, Ukraine could slowly choke off Russia's ability to maintain its forces there. If Crimea becomes too costly to defend, it might force Moscow into painful strategic decisions later on. The psychological warfare element is also powerful. Every explosion on the Crimean Bridge sends shockwaves across Russian social media. It fuels fear, anger, and confusion. Russian bloggers and war correspondents question how such attacks keep happening despite tight security. That public doubt eats away at the illusion of control the Kremlin tries to maintain. The timing of this strike might also tie into Ukraine's diplomatic moves, with more aid negotiations happening in Western capitals. Demonstrating such bold operational success strengthens Kiev's hand. It shows allies that their support is producing real results, that Ukraine can use modern weaponry effectively, and that their investments in Ukrainian defense are paying off. Technically, the strike could also signal new intelligence sharing levels between Ukraine and its partners. The precision and timing suggest high-level coordination, possibly involving real-time satellite or drone surveillance. That cooperation might be deepening quietly behind the scenes, giving Ukraine better situational awareness and strike capability than ever before. On the other side, Russia now faces a dilemma. It must either devote even more resources to defending the bridge, stretching its military thin, or accept that the bridge will remain a permanent target. Both options are costly. If they fortify the bridge further, they weaken defenses elsewhere. If they don't, Ukraine will hit it again. There's no easy solution. Looking ahead, the question is whether this pattern will continue. Will Ukraine keep targeting the bridge until it becomes unusable? Many analysts think that's exactly the plan. Instead of destroying it completely in one go, repeated strikes keep it unstable, expensive to maintain, and symbolically damaged. It's like keeping a wound open, constantly reminding Russia that its grip on Crimea is bleeding. For ordinary Russians, especially those living in Crimea, the repeated attacks are terrifying. They shatter the myth that the war is far away. The explosions, the smoke, the disrupted traffic, all of it brings the war home. And that's crucial because public fear and frustration can gradually turn into political pressure, something Putin has tried hard to avoid. In the end, what makes this new bombing of the Crimean Bridge truly unique is that it's not just about destruction. It's about narrative, timing, and psychology. It represents a phase of the war where precision and perception matter as much as power. Ukraine isn't just hitting steel and concrete, it's striking at the very heart of Russia's story about control, permanence, and legitimacy in Crimea. This attack reminds the world that the war is still evolving. It's not frozen, it's adapting, and both sides are learning. But Ukraine's ability to strike such a high you target again despite all odds sends a clear message. The war is far from over, and the balance of power may be slowly shifting. So, as the dust settles over the Kerch Strait once more, one thing is clear: the Crimean Bridge has become more than a bridge. It's a battlefield in itself, a symbol that will keep being challenged as long as this war continues. And every time it's hit, it changes not just the physical landscape, but the psychological and political one too. That's all for today's deep dive into the latest Crimean Bridge attack. This strike is not just another explosion in the news, it's a turning point that shows how modern warfare, strategy, and symbolism are all colliding in this brutal conflict. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates and breakdowns on the latest global events. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.